Welcome, book lovers. It's that time of year to cozy up and feast your eyes on the luscious literary offerings for the year ahead. We've rounded up a select few of 2023's major titles. Apologies to those who missed the cut, but this article may otherwise have ended up longer than War and Peace. First up, it's memoirs, and we kick off the year with a certain Prince Harry's autobiography, Spare. A reference to the phrase, the heir and the spare, one assumes. It's expected to include the prince's full account behind his decision to give up royal duties and move to the US, although after Oprah and a 6-hour Netflix documentary, how much more can be left to reveal? While it promises raw, unflinching honesty, we'll have to wait and see just how many bridges it will burn back in the UK when it's published. Melanie C. has pulled out of a New Year's Eve concert in Poland after being made aware of issues that do not align with the communities I support. The Spice Girl had been due to perform in the town of Zakopane on Saturday. She didn't specify why she canceled her appearance, but her decision was praised by LGBT people and allies. Polish authorities and the TV station organizing the concert have been widely criticized in recent years for their stances on LGBT rights. The singer wrote on social media, "In light of some issues that have been brought to my attention that do not align with the communities I support, I'm afraid I will no longer be able to perform in Poland as planned on New Year's Eve. I hope to be back there very soon. Hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas and best wishes for 2023. King Charles's first Christmas message attracted the highest viewing figures this century for the monarch's traditional festive address, overnight viewing figures have shown. More channels than ever carried the 3 p.m. address, and the combined audience was 10.7 million. In comparison, Queen Elizabeth II's final Christmas message a year ago was seen by 8.96 million viewers. The king paid tribute to his mother's work during his first festive address. He also took the opportunity to reflect on the ongoing cost of living crisis, as he spoke of those struggling to pay their bills. I hope to be back there very soon. Hope you're all having a wonderful Christmas and best wishes for 2023. The first generation who came to post-war Britain from the Indian subcontinent arrived with as little as £3 in their pockets, all the money they could bring in under strict currency controls. Their descendants, in their millions, are part of the makeup of contemporary Britain, but many of their stories are still to be told, and they reveal so much about the process of migration. Muhammad Ajib arrived in Britain in 1957 from Pakistan with a battered suitcase. His first home was in Nottingham with 28 other men from Mirpur, in Pakistani-administered Kashmir. He'd had a clerical job in Pakistan but could only find work in a factory. Events that brought the nation together in 2022 ranged from the funeral of Her Majesty the Queen to the Lionesses' Euro football victory. Television still has the ability to unify millions of viewers in front of their TV screens. 2023 won't have some of the big dramas many may have hoped for. We don't know if, let alone when, there might be more Bodyguard or Line of Duty coming our way. But the year ahead still offers some tantalizing titles and events. So here, in strictly alphabetical order, are some of the TV programs and events that could get us all talking in 2023. Kabir Kathpalia's life could have gone either way. If it wasn't for music, he probably would have been better remembered as a physicist. But in college, Kathpalia, who majored in physics, found himself at the center of a thriving music scene jamming to his favorite bands, Blink-182 and Green Day. Now, 10 years on, he goes by the name of OAFF and is winning hearts with his experimental music. His song Doobie, part of Bollywood film Garaiyan, which he produced with his college friend Savura, has more than 50 million views on YouTube. He has been named one of Amazon Music's top independent artists in 2022. Depending on your television diet, your favorite reality competition might take place in a Spanish villa, the Australian jungle, a Hertfordshire ballroom, or a giant tent filled with ovens and self-raising flour. But recently, an increasing number of viewers have instead been escaping to a Scottish castle with Claudia Winkleman and 22 members of the public who just want to avoid being murdered. Fortunately, the murders committed that ones the traitors are metaphorical. But the bloodless backstabbing has nonetheless inspired a fiercely devoted following since the series launched in late November. It's got a fresh formula which nobody else has really done, says Harrison Brocklehurst, pop culture writer for The Tab. And in a time when a lot of reality TV has blurred into one all following the same formulas with who they cast. I think The Traitors really stands out as unique. The question of what has prompted the recent resurgence in whodunits is practically a whodunit in itself. Is the US TV series Only Murders in the Building behind their sudden popularity? The Thursday Murder Club novels by Richard Osman? Kenneth Branagh's reimagining of Hercule Poirot? Or do the continued sales of Agatha Christie novels show that whodunits never left in the first place? The only thing we can truly be sure of is it was not Colonel Mustard in the drawing room. The original Knives Out movie starred Daniel Craig as Detective Benoit Blanc, alongside Chris Evans, Jamie Lee Curtis and Ana de Armas in her breakout role. In a few minutes they will perform their latest hit Ghost Town, which over the years would come to be regarded as one of the greatest British singles of all time. It was a track which bottled the discord, racial tensions and societal breakdown happening in the UK that summer. There had already been riots in Brixton that April, over the increased use of a new stop and search policy, the so-called Seuss Law, which was named Operation Swamp. Police were said to have mounted a campaign of harassment against the black community in South London. Hanukkah, literally, dedication, in Hebrew, commemorates the Maccabean revolt that led to the historical recovery of Jerusalem from the Greek Empire and the rededication of the menorah in the Second Temple around 168 BCE. Religious texts later extrapolated on the event in Shabbat 21b of the Talmud, writing of the miracle of the oil that lasted for 8 days. Oil and fried foods have ever since been inextricably linked to the holiday. But there's more to explore in the culinary canon of the Jewish Festival of Lights, beyond the traditional latkes, grated potatoes mixed with onions, egg and fried into crunchy pancakes, and sufganiot, donuts stuffed with a piping bag full of jam, that are as essential to celebrating Hanukkah as candles. A teenager has won praise for transforming old footwear into street art pieces, complete with lampposts. Stella Stockbridge, from Aylesbury, began by redesigning an old Jordan trainer before her art went viral on social media. The 19-year-old was already using social media for her business until her experiment blew up online. She has produced a 7-part video series showing how she went from cutting out parts of the shoe to painting it and even adding a light-up miniature lamppost. The shoe itself was already ruined, she said, and instead of it going to waste, she was inspired to create something out of it. She said it took a week to redesign the shoe, using unconventional materials like clay, foam board and plaster, to transform it into a piece of art. It's the end of an era. All I ever wanted to do was to broadcast on Radio 1 Extra from when I was 17. After 12 years, DJ and presenter Jam Supernova will be hanging up her 1 Extra headphones. To have been there for so long, I'm feeling really happy and complete. The last show will be on the 27th of December, with longtime friend Cass Kidd taking over the slot in the new year. Jam started out as an intern at 1 Extra, working her way up through the production ranks before becoming a presenter with her own show on the network in 2015. King Charles's first Christmas message attracted the highest viewing figures this century for the monarch's traditional festive address, overnight viewing figures have shown. More channels than ever carried the 3 p.m. address, and the combined audience was 10.7 million. In comparison, Queen Elizabeth II's final Christmas message a year ago was seen by 8.96 million viewers. The king paid tribute to his mother's work during his first festive address. He also took the opportunity to reflect on the ongoing cost of living crisis, as he spoke of those struggling to pay their bills. A choir started in 2016 by a woman after her son's second open heart surgery has become an ensemble of 200 women. Valley Rock Voices in Neath is a choir of women aged between 21 and 80. Founder Karis Llewellyn Bevan has created a community for women from all backgrounds and all ages, including mothers to grandmothers. "We are a huge melting pot of every kind of woman," said Mrs. Llewellyn Bevan. Mrs. Llewellyn Bevan started the choir with 12 friends as what she described as an antidote to her son Sam's second major operation. Digital travel scams are a growing, systemic and global problem, according to the World Tourism Organization, a branch of the UN. Dozens of Brazilian women have been finding this out the hard way after paying for luxury holidays from a man whose Instagram account sparkles with opulent hotels and exotic locations. Last December, Maria, not her real name, decided to have a break from the heat of the Australian summer and to take her family on a skiing holiday to Europe. It was her first trip since the pandemic and she wanted it to be special. So she paid $20,000 to a travel agent, Rafael Bessa, a fellow Brazilian who had been recommended by a friend, and made the long flight north.